Pep Talk UK. It's time!
Welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast. This is a pod that offers up some interesting discussion on the current stories in the world of football and boxing. I'm Mike H, your host, and as always, we've got lots to get through. On this week's show, we'll be focusing on the England national team's opening World Cup qualifying match, the upcoming round of Premier League ties, and the small matter of Triple G versus Kell Brook. Now, without further ado, let me introduce our panelists. We start off with our regular on this show is Frankie B in London. Good evening.
Oi. What's going on, Mike H? You good?
All good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. The weather was a scorcher today, mate. Very, very hot, mate. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to the return of the Prem this weekend, that's for sure.
Aren't we all? Yeah, welcome back on, Frankie.
Thank you.
Pleasure. We've also got a man in Paris for you on this week's show. Again, as always, it's Pascal.
Bonsoir, Michael. Bonsoir, Frankie B. How's it going?
Bonsoir, Pascal. Bonsoir. All good, thank you, mate.
Tonight, Michael, can I give some shout out to some of the gangsters in Paris?
Please.
Yes, of course, ok. Dédicace à tous les mecs du 9-2, du 9-3 et du 87. Voilà, boc, ta mère la visigote. Ici, c'est Paris. Ici, c'est Paris. I had to say that, I've got to represent my ends, as they say in England, London. So I'm a Paris guy, Paris homie, Paris gangster, Well, I'm not really, but my friends are.
So was that like a translation of Stormzy Shut Up?
Very much the same. I think Pogba will understand what I'm saying. Maybe we should send him a recording, and I would love to hear Pogba one day to come in the show. I'm sure Pogba will do it as a French person like myself.
We work on it. We get Frankie B on that one. Pascal, welcome once again.
Merci beaucoup.
Now we move to introducing, alongside our regulars, our remaining panelists. First up of the remaining panelists is our professional UEFA licensed coach. He coaches at Charlton Athletic FC, specifically the under-14s. He even uses drones, that's right, drones to help with his coaching. I hear he's a Chelsea fan. It's Mr. David Powderly. Good evening.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, lads.
Welcome.
Hey.
Bonsoir.
How's things?
We're great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good to be fair. Busy period of time in the season. Obviously, pre-season. We won a tournament earlier, so we started really early. So we had a game on Sunday. So yeah, we're just knuckling in. We had training tonight. So the boys are working really well.
Well, that's good. Now, David, I've got some questions for you. If you don't mind. How long have you been a coach?
So I've been coaching for 6 or 7 years now. I've been working at Charlton for 4. I started off at a local side in Lewisham, based in Lewisham, called Paulista, and it was the same club that Joe Gomez started at. I don't know if you know of him. He's at Liverpool FC. Yep. He's currently injured, so working with them and just gaining knowledge through that, and then I moved into Charlton 4 years ago, which I've worked my way up through, which I'm currently at the under-14s level.
You enjoying it?
I love it. For me, educating the young boys and providing them, with the skills and the process in which can develop them to the highest level. And our motto at Charlton is not to just develop players for, we're currently in League One, but to develop players that can play at the highest level possible, whether that be Champions League, Premier League. Those are aspirations.
Okay, and anyone in the under-14s category that we should be looking out for in future?
To be honest, yeah, there's a couple. I won't give too many names just because let's say Category 1 teams are always sniffing around. So we played Chelsea on Sunday, and scouts are there. You got Arsenal, you got City. City are known for buying players now at the younger age groups, but no, we've got the academy is really strong. You know, South London's is a known catchment area, so the boys coming through are the ones that, in terms of what England are talking about in the DNA, these are the boys that will take us, you know, as a country step forward.
Interesting. And what is it like dealing with under 14s in this day and age? You got any divas?
South in deep south? No dealers that I know of.
Divas, not dealers. Divas.
Divas. Sorry, I was thinking.
That's that South London twang again.
That's the South London. The divas.
No, divas. Let's just say you've got egos.
At that age.
Yeah, of course, because what you have to think about, even though they're within a team, they know the pathway's tough. They know the pathway in terms of it gets, as you get to 15s and 16s, it's like a pyramid effect where, you know, at the bottom loads of players come through, but at the top only so many make it. So, you know, and I don't blame them in terms of the ego, because, you know, you have to be strong-minded. It can be a pressured environment where these boys coming through, but, you know, as a coach, that's where you need to manage these players, and I think that's where you have to speak to them one-on-one. You need to build relationships as well. It's important that you build a relationship with your players, because at the end of the day, the only way they learn is if they like you. If they like you and they trust you as a coach, then, you know, it's a buy-in, and that's, I think, where we've had our early success this season is due to the relationships and the understanding of what needs to be done. And, you know, on the session on Monday where we were doing the analysis, I drew on the board me, so ME, and then what I said to them, look, this is what you were before, but since I've been here, since I've taken over this group, we've turned that M to a W, and now we're together. So it's things like that, you know, team building that plays a big part. But yeah, within this age group, you've got egos. No one wants to sit on the bench, even at this age. So it's about managing them and making them understand it's a team.
Interesting. Thank you for that, David. David, would you like to share your social media information with us?
Yes, so my Twitter is David_Powderly. Powderly spelled Powderly, and my Instagram is Mr. DPY.
Lovely, thank you for that. And is it right that you're a Chelsea fan?
Yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan. So I've been a Chelsea fan ever since my brother beat me up before the 1994 FA Cup final where we got smashed by Man United. So
when you had man like Frank Sinclair and Eddie Newton on the pitch.
Paul Furlong, Gavin Peacock, yeah, we had the stars then.
You used to have quite a few waste men in your team, you know that.
like Gareth Southgate, and was a waste man, I believe.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Gareth because he's under 21 manager. So I'm not gonna say.
Pascal's very smart with that.
I'll leave that to you, Pascal.
We'll be coming on to Premier League stuff. Thank you, David. We've got one remaining panelist to introduce. He's been very patient so far. He's the only Liverpool fan on the panel. It's MJ. MJ, welcome back.
MJ back in the building. And I want to give a shout out to David as well. When you talk about Joe Gomez, Charlton Athletic Football Club is an absolute great academy. It brought through people like John Joe Selby and Joe Gomez, who came on to play for Liverpool. So super excited this week to discuss football with the panellists, as well as the massive boxing match we got going on this weekend, which has actually kept me awake for a few days. Looking forward to it.
All right, let's get going then. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight to it. It's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Gentlemen, let's start with the international football. Sam Allardyce's first competitive game as England manager. England needed to rely on a late winner against Slovakia in the qualifying round. MJ, what do you think of what you've seen of Sam Allardyce's England team?
Adam Lallana, Liverpool player, comes up, scores a goal on the dying minutes, you know. But all jokes aside, talking about Liverpool, I thought Allardyce was solid. He was competent. He's what we all expected. He was going to be a safe pair of hands, but wasn't going to wow us in any way. I was a little bit disappointed with Wayne Rooney. I think maybe Allardyce needs to get a hold of Rooney and tell him, if you want to play number 10, wear number 10, but play in the number 10 position. There were times in which he was actually at the back, behind John Stones and stuff. I thought it was totally crazy. But all in all, a win's a win. You can't complain.
It is. David, is Sam Allardyce going to have to come up with something so that he can play Rooney in a more supporting role with Kane on a pitch?
I think Sam's got a big issue here with Rooney, to be fair. I think he's in a position where he had an opportunity, I felt, where he could make a real sign in terms of this is his England team. And I think Rooney, again, is finding himself dropping even further deeper to get on the ball. Now, I know, I listen to other stations and they talk about him being like Scholes. He is no Scholes. It's rude to put him in that class, to be honest with you. The issue with Rooney is he wants to get on the ball, he wants to drop deep. Now, do you need to drop deep when you have a Dyer, when you have a Stones now who can draw out the ball? So it's a big issue. Personally, I don't see a role for Rooney within England setup. Maybe within the squad, but I just don't think he's needed as a 10. Is he really a 10? I'm not sure. Is he like a David Silva, a Mata, a player that can look and play balls between gaps and look to receive in those areas rather than looking to receive where Dyer is, where Stones is? I'm not too sure. But if he's going to do that, he needs to play closer to Kane. Kane's far too much on his own, isolated, and you can't expect him to perform how he does for Tottenham because it's a different environment, international football. So you need players behind him that are going to provide the service for him.
Now, Pascal, what would you do with Wayne Rooney?
With Wayne Rooney, I will bench him. I'll be very honest with you, Michael, and to the rest of my panelists. I think Wayne Rooney is only playing for England because of his past glories. It's the same for Manchester United. He's only playing there because of the value he brings to the team in terms of marketing. But it's fair to say that Wayne Rooney has peaked now. He's no longer going to be providing any more than what we've seen of Wayne Rooney. And I agree very much with David tonight. I think that Wayne Rooney should be benched and Wayne Rooney should still maintain a place in England team, but he should really come on as a substitute and maybe play in 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the game. I would not be starting Wayne Rooney, particularly when he could potentially stifle the development of other players. Wayne Rooney, in my opinion, has never been a number 10. He's more of a striker, has always been playing very much an offensive type of football, and this number 10 role that they try to accommodate for Rooney, it's simply what it is accommodating a man that doesn't really belong in that particular part of the team. And Sam Allardyce is going to have to grow some balls and decide to play Rooney at his preferred position, but perhaps not give him the 90 minutes time of football that when Rooney thinks he should be accorded. When Rooney, to me, is only a 45-minute player at the moment, and no more than that.
Thank you, Frankie. Will England fail to hit their peak if Wayne Rooney starts?
I think England just need to move on. Rooney's had his best days. We've talked about it numerous times. The guy is lacking that spark that he used to have when he was like 18. And apart from a few good crossfield passes, I don't see any quality that he brings to the attack anymore. Like, it's all very much pedestrian like, and I think England need to go in a new direction, and I think they need to put Dele Alli in the 10 role, and I think they need to just basically utilise the pace within the squad. I'm talking Theo, I'm talking Sterling, I'm talking Daniel Sturridge, and hit teams on the counter, similar to Leicester, I would say.
Interesting. No, but I'd like to ask David this one as a professional football coach. Wayne Rooney's going to be 31 years old this October. Keeping in mind that he has been playing pretty much week in, week out in a top flight since age 17, 18, might that have had an impact on his legs?
It's a good point, and I feel that he entered the professional football at a really young age. So you either look at it this way: has he carried himself in terms of his diet and his fitness over the years? That's questionable, because you look at, I know it's easy to look at players like Ronaldo, but even Ibrahimovic at United, he's 34, still doing it, still playing.
Even Giggs was turning it up at what, 37?
Exactly, but these boys looked after themselves. That's questionable whether Rooney has. And let's be honest, to be playing Premier League football at the age that he did, and to play it for so long, it will have an impact. It will have an impact for sure, because of Premier League football is at times can be at gung-ho, end to end. So it's not somewhere where it could be in Italy and in Spain, where it can be a bit more tactical, a bit more where teams allow each other to have the ball and it becomes a bit more tactical in terms of how it's played. The Premier League is constant.
Do you know what I think, David? I think Rooney needs to take a pre-workout supplement before a game. Like, I'd recommend Eno Explode.
Isn't that what Sacco did, no?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Liverpool boy.
Leave it out.
Let's look at the qualifying groups for the World Cup. If you don't know, the teams that England have in their group are Scotland, Slovenia, Lithuania, Slovakia and Malta. Is it probable, MJ, that England are going to coast through this qualifying group like they do in most qualifying groups, and we'll only find out if Sam Allardyce has got the minerals in the tournament proper?
Absolutely, Mike H. I think they say there's nothing new under the sun. And I think with England, we've seen it time and time again. Last time around qualifying for the Euros, it was 10 games, 10 wins. That was brilliant. We almost looked as if we were world beaters until we faced Iceland. Actually, let me not actually talk about Iceland. Let's talk about Russia. The first big test. And the signs of cracks really started showing. So yeah, so absolutely, I do have to agree with you. It would be another, because it's quite a weak group, it would be another good-looking qualifying campaign, followed by God knows what when it actually comes to the tournament.
Let's just round up some of the other results, just some of the other results. England beat Slovakia 1-0. Remember, Slovakia did beat Spain in the last 12 months, but let's just look at some of the other ones. Germany got their campaign off to a good start with a 3-0 win over Norway. Wales smashed Moldova 4-0. Spain beat Liechtenstein 8-0. Italy beat Israel 3-1. Bosnia and Herzegovina smashed 5 past Estonia. So other teams managed to finish off lesser teams a bit better than England. Are we expecting, David, I'll come to you on this one, are we expecting England to sneak a few 1-0s in this group?
Well, against the lesser teams, you expect more, to be honest, even Slovakia. But the way we play our football, we struggle to break down teams that sit back. We haven't got that. That's why you see Rooney dropping in so deep, because there's no patience in our play. So when you're playing against Slovakia, you need to move the ball with speed. You need to be playing quickly against these teams. This is how they won't be able to handle it. The issue with other sides, yes, I think the way they play their football benefits them, and there's no disrespect to other teams against Moldova, but you look at Wales, even the way they try to play their football, you wouldn't say man for man, apart from Bell, they might have, of Bell would get into our side, but they just move the ball quicker. They have an idea of what they're doing. It looks like when England get together, it's all off the cuff. Our question on Twitter was like, doesn't look like Sam Allardyce has done anything this week. It's just like he's just done some keep ball sessions, some rondos, and the boys have just gone out to play. Is there a pattern of play that Sam's doing? I don't know.
We'll hopefully find out. No, gentlemen, thank you for that. No point spending any more time on the international football when we've got Premier League to talk about. Premier League's back this weekend. The the weekend opens with the Manchester derby, and Man United host City. It's Mourinho against Pep. Frankie B, you looking forward to this one?
Mate, this is the Titanic clash that I've been waiting for, mate. This is going to be better than the Shakira concert, mate. Mate, the two best managers, for me in world football. Mourinho is a proven winner. Pep is a proven winner. These guys, they aspire to big things. They aspire to be at the top of the game. Top squads, like there's some top players on offer. You got Zlatan, you got Martial, you got Pogba, you got David Silva. There's so many players. The only thing that might tip it in the way of Man United is the fact that Aguero has been a naughty boy and is suspended. But I think it's going to be a great advert for the Premier League.
And David, it'll be if those Manchester sides draw, it'll be a great opportunity for your boys to go top of the league. You're playing Swansea away. How do you reckon results are going to pan out this weekend?
Well, looking at the Manchester derby, I went up to watch Man City v West Ham on the other Sunday, and just looking at the way Man City set up and how they're going to play, Man City obviously Pep likes to play out from the back, and with looking at Man United's forward line and Ibrahimovic and Rooney behind, I can't see them pressing too much. So, and if they do, they're going to get around them, because let's say Rooney and Ibrahimovic are not the best defenders. So I can see Man City winning well, even though Aguero's not there. I just think they'll have too much for them going forward, and the way they'll keep the ball as well you'll see properly. Mourinho possibly parking the bus. I know he done that with my old team Chelsea a few times, which was successful. So he might have to park that back up in Manchester. But no, with Chelsea, I think it's been a good start. It's been a really good start. Hazard looks like he's forgotten about last year and the issues. He fancies it, which is great for him. About time he turned up. Costa, he's been a lucky boy as well. Lucky to get away with it. But no, Chelsea are doing well. Conte seems to like the Matic and the Conte combination rather than Cesc Fabregas. But no, the boys look like they're back in challenging for the title.
David, now as we have you on, let me ask you about another David. What do you think to Luis coming back to Stamford Bridge?
Do you know what? I'm not having it. I'm not having it. What I was thinking, is he going to go to a back three, possibly, with him, Luis, Terry, and Cahill, because he played that with Italy. But then I was thinking he might shift Aspilicueta right back. He bought the new boy from Fiorentina. And he might put Luis next to Terry. I'm not a fan of Cahill. I'd rather have a Luis than a Cahill. I think Cahill is a lucky boy to be playing at that level, to be honest.
He's also got Kurt Zuma.
Yeah, but he's recovering from a cruciate knee. How long? He's back soon though, isn't he? He's been training.
Wow, what a turnaround.
Usually 6 months.
Do you know what? I'd actually like to see Zuma against Triple G. He's like a mammoth of a guy. He's a big guy.
Zuma is huge, but he can play. He's not like Sacco. Sacco looks a bit. He looks a bit nervous when he's on the ball.
David, you're calling a Man City win this weekend?
I am indeed. Yeah.
And the Chelsea win at Swansea?
Yeah, for sure. Swansea don't look too good, to be honest with you, this year.
That would mean that two teams pull away at the top of the league if that happens. Yeah. Do you believe that your side has enough to push all the way?
Yeah, I think we've got the know-how. I think we've got the attacking players there as well. But the thing is with the Premier League, you just never know. Come by December when you got the Christmas games, it's full on. You're looking at, as they always say, after Christmas, you tend to look at the table and see. But I think for me, Man City, people spoke about Man City and Pep not being able to implement his football style in in our league, that's nonsense. They haven't got a clue. It'll probably be easier than others. So no, I fully expect Man City to go on and be stronger.
Interesting. Now let's turn to MJ, because there's another big clash this weekend at 5:30 on Saturday. Liverpool are hosting Leicester City. Both teams want to win. MJ, how do you see that one going?
It's only got to go one way. It's got to go the Liverpool way. It's the opening of the brand new redeveloped Anfield Stadium. So for the first time, we will have close to 55,000 majority Liverpool supporters in Anfield, ready for the first game, and the first time we've actually played at Anfield since the back end of last season. So the atmosphere will be absolutely rife. There was a bit of disappointment with what actually happened at Tottenham in our last game. So yeah, I believe. Leicester will obviously be looking to try to win the same way they brilliantly did last season. Mm-hmm. But I think I can see this one just going Liverpool's way. We have to win. Brand new stadium, first game, 3 points.
Pascal, what do you reckon? You think Leicester might cause Liverpool some problems?
Mike H, Liverpool are a very interesting team. Liverpool will probably go out there and beat the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, as they have already done, but lose to West Brom the following week. I expect Leicester to unleash their new striker, Islam Feghouli, very good player, and I expect Leicester to actually win the game. Liverpool they only seem to be interested in beating the big teams. But, what's interesting is that they're beginning to find a rhythm under Jurgen Klopp, and he's beginning to show that they believe in him, they believe in his tactics and his approach to the game, and he's paying off. But I just don't think that Liverpool will be motivated enough to play against Leicester, to beat Leicester. I actually could see it either going a draw or Leicester, still in the 3 points.
Wow. Now, not wishing to jump too far ahead, but we have a Chelsea fan and a Liverpool fan this week. On the 16th of September, so the next round of Premier League games, you know who Chelsea are playing? Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool. Wow.
Chelsea will be hosting Liverpool on the 16th of September. Liverpool and Chelsea fan, what do you reckon?
Well, Klopp's pressing is unbelievable, by the way. The way he has his boys pressing. I think, as you said, against the top teams, as Pascal said, I think Liverpool will do well. So I think they have a chance against Chelsea, especially if if the front 4 or 5 are pressing from the front as they have been, especially against the Tottenham game. That was impressive. So now I think Liverpool, Klopp's getting his working. It helps that they're not in the Champions League because he can work with them throughout the week, so he can implement his strategies and his tactics.
Neither Chelsea with Antonio Conte.
Say that again, sorry?
I said neither Chelsea with Antonio Conte.
Exactly, and that will help us in terms of our development as a team. Because if you remember Brendan Rodgers, when he didn't have Champions League, I think they went really well in the league. I think against Palace, that's where they lost it. But then they got in the Champions League, new players were in, and the pre-season wasn't enough. He needed those weeks, during the week to do his work, but he never got that chance. But no, I think it does help a team when they're not in a European competition.
For sure. Now, we're looking forward to, all of us, the Premier League resuming this weekend. No doubt there'll be some interesting results thrown up. Fellas, I think it's only right that we move on to the boxing. And for those who don't know, this Saturday, 10th of September at the O2 Arena in London, there's quite a big event going on. Kazakh Gennady Golovkin, or otherwise known as Triple G, puts his IBF, WBO, WBC and IBO middleweight titles on the line against the unbeaten IBF World Welterweight Kell Brook from Sheffield. Kell Brook is more accustomed to fighting at welterweight. He'll be squaring up to Triple G at middleweight. Pascal, let's come to you. I know you're looking forward to this one. Pascal? Pascal? Where's Pascal gone?
Hello?
Pascal?
Cage? Hello?
Pascal?
Hello? Yes.
He was watching an old Liverpool game. He dozed off.
Oh, an England game.
Sorry, I just had Delphine come into the room, touching some bodily parts of mine. I apologize. But I'm looking very forward to the boxing game or boxing match that's going to happen at London O2. Potentially, my cage, I'm thinking of taking the Eurostar. And coming to watch the fight because it's a very big fight. You know, I love my boxing, but I've been very impressed with the way that Kell Brook has been training. You know, he's been even practicing some southpaw stance, which has been very interesting. You know, he's been throwing some very quick combinations, hyping the crowd. You know, the crowd are very much behind him. You know, he's a Brit. He's proven to be very ballsy. Gennady Golovkin also, I've been listening to him and looking at his workouts. Very strong guy. Punches really hard. And look, the interesting thing about these two fighters is that they are both incredible fighters in their own right. Gennady Golovkin has, you know, an incredible knockout ratio, and is a very much, to me, reminds me of, you know, when you have a very large penis and women know about it, and they are worried that you destroy them, so they shy away from you, you know, and that's very much why people don't want to fight Gennady, you know. I mean, Mike, you must understand. I'm sure you have a big penis like me, and when you tell women, listen, you have a big penis, the women tend to shy away because they're very scared. And Gennady Golovkin is a boxer with a very big penis, and people are very scared of him. But Kell Brook equally wants to show that his penis is bigger than Gennady Golovkin, and he's very much proving that he has very big balls by taking on a very powerful and destroying fighter. But I tell you what, Mike H, I have a very strange feeling, just similar to the way that Delphine made me think a second ago, that there might be a very interesting turn of events. You know, Special K Kell Brook has got very good boxing skills. He moves very well. Gennady Golovkin doesn't move his head very well. He's very good at cutting the ring. He's very good at throwing powerful shots. But, you know, he's now gone the distance with Martin Murray, a fellow British fighter. And I think that Kell Brook fights better than Martin Murray, even though Kell Brook is not quite a bona fide middleweight, but Kell Brook is a better fighter than Martin Murray, in my honest opinion. And I can only see that Kell Brook can pull something absolutely sensational. It is possible that we can see something absolutely great. The odds are pretty much stacked against Kell Brook, but let's be honest, the pressure is on Gennady Golovkin to perform away from the American lights, away from a crowd that is pro Gennady Golovkin. He's coming to the United Kingdom, where the boxing fans are very good fans, probably some of the best fans in the world, but they'll be supporting their very own Kell Brook. So, hey, bring it on, it's going to be sensational.
Thank you, Pascal. Frankie, you are going to the fight, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to head down there with our boxing correspondent, Shaz Chowdhury. Hopefully it'll be a really good night of boxing. The funny thing about this matchup is the two fighters, I kind of think they're both overrated. For me, Triple G, I've said it numerous times, he's a basic mechanical fighter. And Kell Brook, for me, is kind of mechanical too.
Oh,
so that's two robots. That's two robots in the same ring.
Oh,
so
KB, come on. Kell Brook mechanical? Oh, come on.
Mechanical. Like, for me, I'm used to, and I like boxers that move, i.e. James DeGale, i.e. Mayweather. I like boxers that move and that have great lateral movement. Kell Brook is good at doing the basics in terms of planting his feet and throwing the shots. And we know Golovkin has got a lot of power in both hands.
But Frankie, quick question. Have you seen Kell Brook fight anybody of particular note except from Sean Porter?
And even the Sean Porter fight for me was questionable. I watched the whole fight. Even though he won that matchup, it was very close. It could have gone either way.
Absolutely not. I couldn't disagree with you more.
Tell us, MJ.
I saw the Porter fight, and it was clearly Kell Brook. For Kell Brook to go away to fight Porter in his hometown and to actually win it, because away judges and bias and things like that, you have to win it, and he was so far ahead, he deserved that. Kell Brook, a great fighter. He's up against it. Has he got the power?
Yeah, but
He's a welterweight.
you say Kell Brook's a great fighter, but who's he fought? Who's he really fought? Jojo Dan,
There's a
Frankie
reason why
Gavin.
everyone actually avoids Kell Brook. People don't want to fight Kell Brook because his name is not big enough to have a big enough purse to actually take the risk. Now, Gennady Golovkin is taking an absolutely... Gennady Golovkin is taking a big risk here, but
I agree.
Golovkin has got all the advantages.
But
His
that's what I mean.
percentage is 91%. His reach is higher than Kell Brook's. He's boxed lots more rounds. So, on paper, it looks like Gennady Golovkin, especially since he's got the natural power, the knockout power, and the natural power of actually fighting
So,
at middleweight.
so if Kell Brook wins, you think he's gonna say, "I'm the champ, baby"?
Oh, well, dude. Kell Brook can actually win Gennady's belts, but Gennady can't win Kell Brook's belts. So all the pressure is on Gennady. He's got everything to lose. And I want to go.
I'm very surprised that I'm finding myself agreeing with a Liverpool fan, but I think he's quite correct, Frankie B. Gennady Golovkin has the pressure on him, and he will be in a very interesting match come Saturday, because I think that Kell Brook, we have not seen the best of Kell Brook, nor have we seen the best of Gennady Golovkin, because as I said to you before, the men with very large penis are very difficult to find an adequate partner, but it's going to be very interesting matchup, and I believe he's going to go the full 12 rounds, and I believe that there will be some split decision at the end of the 12 rounds. I do not believe that Gennady Golovkin will knock out Kell Brook the way people are saying. I don't believe that.
Pascal, you said that in your view the pressure's on Triple G.
Bien sûr.
What kind of pressure would there be on Kell Brook fighting in a filled out O2 arena with everyone on his side?
You see, Mike H, there will not be any pressure for Kell Brook, because Kell Brook, irrespective of the outcome, Kell Brook will be first of all commanded as a man with very, very big ambition. Secondly, if he loses, he still retains his welterweight IBF title. The most important opportunity for Kell Brook is to focus on the fight and is to deliver an exceptional boxing performance, and we've still not seen the best of Kell Brook yet, and Kell Brook wants to emulate the likes of Sugar Ray Robinson and other notable welterweights who have made that jump to the middleweight. Gennady Golovkin also, let's remember, is 35 years old, or 34, 35, so therefore in boxing terms, boxing is a very physically demanding sport, and unless you are an elite fighter, to maintain that level of intensity in the sport becomes very, very difficult. And Kell Brook is just speaking. He's also a very intelligent boxer. He comes from a very good school of boxing in England, in Sheffield. So we'll have some very interesting coaching. Some tactics will have been worked out. As I said before, Gennady Golovkin doesn't move his head very well. So you can actually see Kell Brook, landing punches and frustrating Triple G, but equally Triple G has that one punch knockout power, and we'll have to see how well Kell Brook's chin will test against Triple G. But look, I'm of the opinion that the pressure is on Triple G. Triple G has to perform. Triple G is now known as the new Mike Tyson in terms of his knockout ratio, and if he doesn't knock out Kell Brook within the first 5 or 6 rounds of the fight, you'll start to see that Triple G will begin to become more frustrated and likely to cause some errors that could potentially lead to Kell Brook winning the fight.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I think that's a good time to move on. Whatever happens, I personally am expecting a great fight this Saturday. I'm eagerly awaiting it. We have, for the listeners, a special interview this week by our boxing correspondent Shaz Chowdhury, who caught up with, get ready for it, former IBF junior welterweight and WBA champion Paulie Malignaggi, boxing lightweight prospect Conor Benn, Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn, WBC president Mauricio Suleman, Sky Sports pundit Spencer Fearon, and Olympic bronze medalist Joshua Buasti.
I'm honoured to be joined today by Paulie Malignaggi at the Covent Garden workout. and thank you for coming on Pep Talk UK podcast, Paulie.
Thanks for having me.
Paulie, what are your views on the big fight coming up Saturday, Triple G against Kell Brook?
I think it's certainly been an exciting build-up to the fight. I think the fact that this fight sold out in about 10 to 15 minutes or something like that, shows you the relevance of both fighters and how excited the crowd probably will be to finally get the fight here. I think Golovkin has an edge being the natural middleweight. Kell Brook is probably, to me, the best welterweight in the world, if not among the top 2 or 3. Golovkin's the best middleweight in the world. I think they're both very solid, skilled fighters, both good punchers, but I think Golovkin being the natural middleweight probably is, has a puncher's advantage as well as the advantage in the fight. It's a difficult ask to ask a fighter to move up in weight, and then take on the best fighter at that weight class in the world. Usually a fighter moves up in weight, he may chance it even against the number 3 or 4 guy in that weight class, and never the number 1 guy in that weight class. So you give Kell credit for daring to be great, but I think it's a difficult ask, regardless of just how good of a fighter Kell Brook is, and he's a very quality fighter.
Sir, you're an absolute gentleman. I thank you for taking the time to have a chat with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm joined now by the destroyer himself, Conor Benn, for Pep Talk UK. Conor, fourth outing at the O2. It's becoming a bit of a home for you, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, the supporters back me all the way, and what a better place to fight than in London.
Now, Conor, I've been watching your pictures on social media. You look bigger, you look stronger.
Hench is the right word, I think. I feel good, I feel strong. Going up to welter is definitely the best choice I've made.
Now, there's another big fight on that card. It's Triple G Kell Brook. How do you see that going?
I hope Kell Brook brings home the win, and I hope he does shock the world. It will go either way within 6.
Lovely. Well, Conor, as always, you're a gentleman, you're a superstar, and we love meeting up with you. Thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Take care.
I'm with the man himself, Eddie Hearn, Mr. Matchroom, who's put on a fantastic event here at Covent Garden. Eddie, how do you do it with a busy schedule that you've got? How do you bring these boxers to the UK, and how do you put on such fabulous events?
Well, I think really through the support of the fans and through the support of Sky Sports. We've got a great team at Matchroom as well, so we're able to put on events like this that kind of like just help grow the sport. When Gennady Golovkin comes here today, there'll be aerial shots of over 1,000 people come around to one of London's hotspots to watch him train, and that's what you try and do. You try and make London sexy, if you like, and boxing sexy, and you have to make it an event that people have to get a ticket for, and I think that's what we've done with boxing. And I think now we're able, because of the success of the sport, to bring these top names to the UK.
Kell Brook, Triple G, how do you see it going?
Well, I'm very close to Kell Brook, and it's one of those fights that you have to watch through your fingertips. I've always known that Kell Brook is a very, very special fighter, and I always felt that he may go through his whole career undefeated, but I also never expected him to fight Gennady Golovkin. So everything's got to align for Kell Brook on Saturday night. He's got to be perfect. He's got to have the perfect game plan. He's got to produce the best performance of his career, and he can win this fight. We know about Golovkin. We know about how hard he punches. How's he going to respond in the O2? How's he going to respond to the atmosphere, the different commission? All these things we don't know. What I know is it's going to be an unbelievable occasion, an unbelievable fight. Both guys are bang up for it, and that includes Kell Brook.
As a fight fan, Eddie, I'd like to say thank you very much for putting on this show.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that, and keep supporting and roll on Saturday night.
I am now honoured to be joined by Mauricio Suleman, Mr. WBC himself, the green belt. Now, thank you for coming on UK Pep Talk podcast.
It's a real honour for me. I'm very excited, and I'm just thrilled to be here, and it's going to be a great days building up to one of the best fights of the year.
Now, the question you've probably been asked 100 times already, or 1,000 times, is who do you think is going to win?
I think this actually is one of the most difficult fights, and whoever is able to dominate the first 3-4 rounds and impose the style of the fight is going to win the fight. Brook is quick, is fast, has a great ring generalship, and has power. Golovkin is not as fast, has tremendous power, and if he can figure out the boxing ability of Brook, he should be able to start landing punches. But I think Brook has a great chance of winning this fight.
Either way, it's going to be one fantastic fight, possibly the fight of the year.
I have no doubts about that. I'm sure it's going to be a memorable event, and I can feel the excitement. I've been to many big fights in my life since I was a kid, and this certainly has all the elements to be one of the greatest.
Well, sir, thank you for taking the time to have a quick chat with us. I appreciate you've got a lot of people that are wanting to interview today, so thank you very much from all at Pep Talk UK.
Thank you so very much, and I'm excited to be here. My first fight ever in the UK, so I could not have the best opportunity as this one.
Lovely. Thank you very much once again, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm joined by the knowledge, Mr. Spencer Fearon, who's a friend of Pep Talk UK and has been on before. Spencer, how do you think this fight's going to go down Saturday night?
I think it's going to be an enthralling fight. History will tell us, and people say, why do you keep on going about history? Because I'm the knowledge. That's what I'm meant to do. Do you understand? It's like me saying, I work for McDonald's, but you come in and I can't give you a Big Mac. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Right. So I would see this fight. History will tell us, like, when welterweights move up to middleweight, that stone or just under, it's that 13 pounds difference. It's a big gulf. It's a big gulf, but within the gulf is whether you got the skills to carry that gulf. I believe that Kell Brook, if it goes points, and I believe that he's smart enough and clever enough to evade punches, hold, grabs, spin, box, Kell Brook can cause an upset. 1974, Jose Napoles, who's one of the greatest welterweights of all time, moves up to fight Carlos Monzon for the middleweight title of the world, and he gets stopped in about 6 rounds. He gets stopped, but then he goes back down to welterweight and has a couple successful defenses before he loses to John X. Tracy. But that beating that he took kind of mustered his skills. If Kell Brook can stick to a game plan of administering his jab and administering a hard jab and turning him and keep on throwing out that jab, then Kell Brook's got a fantastic chance of causing an upset. I really do believe it. I'm a big believer in the Winkerbank gym and the skills that they provide. And you know what? He can cause an upset, and I'm going for him to cause an upset.
Sir,
on points. And remember, I said it here first. Otherwise, Kell Brook's going to get knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds. And who's going to be interested in that? Go for Kell Brook, man. I'm back in the Brit.
Spencer, you're a diamond. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
We've all been behind one man, rooting him on. Every punch I felt I threw with him. It's none other than Mr. Joshua Buasti, Olympic medalist. Thank you, Josh, for coming on Pep Talk UK and giving me a few moments to have a chat with me.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now, Joshua, we were cheering you on the screens. What was it like whilst you were at the Olympics fighting for your country?
I could feel the support from everyone, like more than I expected. But coming home now, I've been told, you know what, the whole nation was behind you. People are saying, seriously, Josh, look, the whole nation was behind you. So I'm feeling the love and the support more now that I'm back in England. But again, when I was in Brazil, the support on social media just blew me away. And it kind of uplifted me, got me ready for the fights, thinking, you know what, everyone is supporting me and cheering me on to go out there and to do well. So it's been a whole different experience for me.
In and out of the ring, you obviously got admirers. You even managed to get an admirer called Mr. Floyd Mayweather. How did it feel meeting him?
The money, man. It was the best thing, man, because we watch Mayweather, you see he's undefeated, you see the defensive skills, and to then meet him in person and to talk to him and to get a photo, it was the best thing, man.
I believe Mayweather got a photo with you and it went the other way round.
Nah, I got a photo with Mayweather, man. I went over and I asked him for a photo, and he just said some few kind words, and it was good to just meet a great champion like that.
Now, we're waiting for Triple G and Kell Brook. How do you see this fight going?
Again, Triple G's the biggest puncher in that division, man. I'm here to hear the sound of the pads when he's hitting it. So, again, Triple G, Kell Brook at middleweight. He's moved up weights, and he's apparently and supposedly meant to feel strong and good at the weight. So it's going to be interesting. Again, I will only know the result when the winner's announced. That's if it gets to the final bell. So you and I and everyone else listening will find out at the same time.
Now, in terms of your career, what's next for you?
What's next is I'm going uni this week. I want to say unfortunately, but then again, I'm looking forward to go back and to finish my degree. And then career-wise, I've just got a few months to decide what I'm doing, whether I stay or I go. But I'm just weighing out the options and seeing what I can do next.
It has been a genuine pleasure speaking to you, and from me and everyone at Pep Talk UK, we wish you the best in whether you stay as an amateur or as a pro, and we're watching your career with keen eagle eyes.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
Gentlemen, we've packed a lot into this week's show. I'm afraid that's our time up for another week. I'd like to thank the panel for sharing their views. Frankie B, Pascal, David and NJ, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you.
Oui, ici c'est Paris. Beau.
And we hope all the listeners have enjoyed the show, and we wish you a good week until the next one. And a reminder that you can follow us at peptalk_UK.